This is another episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC, celebrating 40-plus years on the fringe of show business. Stories, interviews, and comedy sets from the famous and not so famous. Here's your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Hi, and welcome to this week's podcast. I got some great stand-up comedy coming up for you, all stuff recorded just in the last year or so. So good, new, fresh material. I'm so excited to be sharing it with you. Coming up at the end of our show, a guy that just did a dry bar comedy special, very, very funny, Don McEnery. Also appearing, a little comedy music from Dennis Blair. Now, you may know that name. He toured with George Carlin for over 12 years. He was also a regular with Rodney Dangerfield. In fact, helped write the movie Easy Money. He's a very funny comic musician. So coming up in the second position, Dennis Blair. But let's start off with some local comedy. This guy's right here from Northern California. He's been doing stand-up comedy for a number of years, had a little bit of TV experience, but always a lot of fun. His name's Chicago Steve Barkley. You've seen him at stages all over Northern California. Very funny guy. Let's jump into some great stand-up comedy on this week's podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Chicago Steve Barkley.
Marriage is a relationship where one person is right all the time, and the other person is the husband. And it's what you do is as a team, you work out problems together. And these are usually problems that you wouldn't have if you weren't married. It's just a whole different world. It really is. My wife, she became a falconer, and one day she comes home and she goes, "Hey, guess what? I go, I don't know. She goes, "I got a job at a falconry center." I go, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "Where is it?" She goes, "It's in Browns Valley." And I go, "Where's that?" She goes, "It's up near Marysville, California." I go, "Oh, that's going to be a long drive from Walnut Creek every day." And she goes, No, we're going to move." I go, "I don't want to move. I don't. There's a palm tree in the front yard. I don't want to move. We have a swimming pool in the back." I go, "Oh, it's not. I'll go in the pool. I don't want to move." And so when you're married, you work out things, you discuss things, and so we talked about it for a long time. And I said, the Bay Area here, all my gigs are here. I've been doing comedy a long time. And I know you just got in a falconry, you love it a lot. No, we're not going to move. We got a beautiful home here, and we're not going to move. So we moved. And we were looking for a place to live, and we looked all over in Browns Valley for a place, and we couldn't find any places to live there. So my wife said to the real estate agent, "Well, let's move farther up into the mountains where Steve's career will just die completely." And he goes, "Well, that's a good idea." So we moved up to a little town up in the mountains called Brownsville. That's an old Indian word. It means nobody lives here. And now we're mountain people. And I had on buckskins before I came here tonight. And we live in the mountains now. And we have neighbors. We've never seen them. We hear them off in the woods. But they dropped off an abandoned car in our front yard, broke the windows out for us, which was really nice, and left us a marijuana growing kit and a pit bull puppy. So we're feeling very at home now up in the mountains. And boy, is it quiet up there. It's there's no city noises. And at nighttime, you can sit out in the front yard and you can hear the meth labs exploding off in the distance. Ooh, that was close. We're trying to become, participants in the community and everything, So we go into town a lot. We live near Marysville, which has a huge homeless population. Which is great if you're single. Because if you're dating a homeless woman, at the end of the night, you just drop her off anywhere. So I get out of the car, Shelly. No, I don't have any spare change.
That was Steve Barkley live on stage, a very funny local comic, local in the sense that he works all over Northern California, and just always great to have him around. I worked with him recently on my new podcast, the Tag Team Talent Podcast. If you haven't found it, it's on Spotify and YouTube, Tag Team Talent Podcast. And Steve was one of my co-hosts, thus the tag team. Hey, let's get into some comedy music. As I mentioned, this guy toured with George Carlin, worked with Dangerfield, and I did a big fundraiser with him just last year. Really funny comic musician. Let's hear it for our next act, Dennis Blair.
It's happy. You'll sing along. You don't care what the words are. It doesn't matter what the lyrics are. As long as it's uplifting and happy, you will sing along. That's why everybody loves reggae. That's why everybody, except the people in this room, love reggae. Too late! By the way, I've noticed this about reggae. Every reggae song starts the same way. It's really weird. Translation, hide the shit, the cops are coming. Got that happy sound. Then the lyrics kick in, ruin everything. I want to punch you in the face, kick you in the head, throw you down the stairs, 'cause God is love. Doctor says I got 1 week to live. The hooker I was with tested positive. Don't worry. Oh, now you're singing. Great. Tap that ass, tap that. No. Goddamn music. I love it. Every decade, too. If you go, I got Sirius XM. I just got Sirius XM radio, put it in my car. You get every decade. They have every decade. And every decade, if you were to, like, substitute your own lyrics, it wouldn't matter. Lyrics don't matter. I mean, you go all the way back to the 50s. You have, by the way, 50s, one of my favorite decades. All right, 3 people there. Okay. I like to entertain 3 people at a time. That's what I like to do, folks. But right, by the way, shortest song ever recorded was written in the 1950s. This is the shortest song ever written. Do you love me? No! Okay, that was the shortest. Yeah, yell out your favorite singers. I'll destroy them for you. David Bowie? Queen. David Bowie was first. Ground control's a Major Tom. Ground control's a Major Tom. I'm in space, I'm weightless, and I can't keep my panties on. David Bowie, right off the top of my head, come on! Queen, here we go, Queen. We are the champions, my friend. We can have sex from either end. Right off the top of my head. Right off the top. I'm not responsible for what I say if it's right off the top of my head. Who else? Yeah, keep going. Creedence. Elton John. Oh, God. Well, the biggest kick I ever got was doing a thing called the Crocodile Rock. While the other kids were rocking around the clock, I was thinking about grabbing somebody's lyrics and writing melodies to them. They didn't tell you it was going to be a clean show, did they? Creedence Clear? Yeah, Creedence. Yes. Sorry. Creedence Clear. Yeah, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Left a good job in the city. What am I, an idiot? Okay. All right. Pink Floyd. Oh my God. Prince. Holy crap. Wow. Pink Floyd. We don't need no masturbation. If I don't stop, I'm gonna knock another hole in the wall. I'm not sure you want to hear Prince. Remember, this is all on you. My tribute to Prince. I was about to have sex with this beautiful woman. So I dropped my pants, she pointed to it, she said, no way. And I said, how come all of a sudden you don't want to have sex with me? She said, 'cause running down your penis is this great big purple vein, purple vein, purple vein. Thank you, good night.
That was Dennis Blair live on stage doing some great comedy music, stuff that everybody can relate to. I know you enjoyed it. And we're having so much fun with this comedy podcast. Let's keep it going. A guy that's a little newer to me. He never had a chance to work my club because he came along a little later, but he's had some huge success in the last decade. In fact, he recently did a dry bar comedy special, and he's performing all over the country and cruise ships. This guy's very popular. Don McEnery. He does some great stand-up comedy, and he's going to close this comedy podcast today. So let's hear it for him. Ladies and gentlemen, Don McEnery.
I'm just saying. People say that all the time. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's an annoying thing. I'm just saying. Yeah, there's just the two of us. And I didn't say it. And as you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Have I stopped you at any point along this conversation and said to you, I really am confused about what it is you're saying. Could you please reword it some other way so maybe I get the gist? Then there's the one, it goes without saying. You ever hear people say that? That's annoying because the people that say that, those kind of people, they're not going without saying. They're gonna say. My only hope is that I get away, I go before they say anything. My mechanic has a great expression, more than fair. More than fair. That's what, if I argue about a bill with him, he'll say, we charge you a price we think is more than fair. What does that mean? He figured out what was fair and then charged me more. Yeah, we figured out $75 was fair. We charge you $150. We're being twice as fair. I'm just saying. Things are a lot different. I'm getting old. One thing I learned, here's something I learned about getting old that I've realized recently. And if you're my age out there, you'll back me up on this. Even as you get older, in your head, you're not old. In your head, you don't get old. In your head, you're still like 20, 25 years old. It's kind of amazing. But there are things during the day that remind you that you're old. Like things like standing up. And then having to sit down because you stood up too fast. And then all the blood rushes to your head. And you go, oh, am I going to die? No, okay. That's the most exciting part of my day. You know what else makes me feel old? Like a 30-year-old calling me sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Hey, drop dead, kid. Filling out a form online makes you feel old, you know, because you put your name and your address and your phone number, then you get to your birthday, put the day and the month, and then you got to scroll. An hour and a half later. I'm taking a nap in between. I saw a commercial the other day for a mattress company was doing a commercial on TV, and their slogan was, "We take sleep to the next level." We take sleep to the next level. What is the next level of sleep? Death. I don't think I want that mattress. Do you have a mattress where I wake up refreshed and feeling alive? That I could get into. Everything's changed too. The news. You watch cable news, there's too much going on cable news, you know what I mean? When I was a kid, there was just one guy talking to you on the screen telling you the news. And it was always a guy, because until like 76, they didn't realize women could read too. Enlightened world we lived in. But there's just too much going on the screen, you know what I mean? There's like the person there, the yanker, and then there's that grid of people in squares. It looks like the Brady Bunch is there to answer political questions. And then there's the crawl on the bottom. The crawl, I hate the crawl. The crawl, because I can't not look at it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to pay attention to the person talking. Yeah, I'm listening. Okay, yeah, good, I'm listening. I got you. No, I'm not paying attention. But 5 minutes in, I'm looking at the crawl. And that gets me mad, because I'm paying like $150 a month for cable. And now I'm reading the TV. And I can't concentrate on what I'm reading, because this guy keeps talking. It's like, hey, shut up, I'm trying to read the news. You know what they didn't have when we were young, too? When I was young, they didn't have the live satellite feed. You know that thing where guy in America can talk to somebody 5,000 miles away and instantly they're connected. But it's not always so instant. You ever notice that? There's always like some kind of gap of time between when the guy asks the question and the other guy hears the question. Sometimes it's a pretty big gap, too. Sometimes you could go out for lunch. But, the guy in America goes, well, Jim, it must be harrowing there on the eve of such a big battle. And then Jim's over there. Yes, Bill. Was it worth it? Everything is extra. Peanuts. People in this room, do you remember a day when peanuts were free? They would walk down the aisle throwing peanuts at you. You can't even throw peanuts anymore because they'll sue the airlines. But they would, can I have 2 bags of peanuts? Go ahead, they're peanuts. Now, that little bag of peanuts, about this big, $7.50. I counted them. Comes out to 62 cents a nut. It's too much for me. Everything is extra. I bet you someday you're going to read a story about a plane making an emergency landing. And, you have to go out. They open the side doors. You got to go down that slide. They're going to charge you $5 entertainment fee. You'll see. There'll be some story where you try to go off the plane. Oh, that'll be $5. No, sir, we don't take cash. Only credit cards. You don't have a credit card? Well, you have to go back to your seat. Oh, you don't have a seat. They're also easing up on the restrictions that I find weird. And you know that you can bring a knife onto an airplane now? Think you can? Woo. There's somebody, I don't know why you think that's a good idea. Because you can bring up to a 3-inch blade onto an airplane. What could go wrong? Why do you need a 3-inch bladed knife on an airplane? Are you whittling? You ever get on a plane, some guy's going, oh, I got to get this moose done. I promised my boy I'd whittle my moose. I wish I picked a less antlered animal. Even worse, they're talking about letting you talk on phones on your cell phone while in flight. Now that's the worst idea I've ever heard. That is just not going to be good, because people are annoying on cell phones. There's always that, not everybody, but there's always at least one guy, and when you're somewhere that talks too loud on the phone, and they're always bragging. That's why they're talking to you. They want to let you know how great they are. I told him I make more money in a month than he makes in a year. That guy is annoying enough on solid ground. 30,000 feet in the air, somebody's going to stab him in the eye with a 3-inch blade. And that somebody is me. I'm just saying.
That was Don McEnery live on stage from a show he recorded just last year. Very, very funny guy. I know you enjoyed that. He has been doing stand-up for a number of years, very successful. It was great to be able to share him on the podcast. We also had a little comedy music from Dennis Blair, and opening up the show from Northern California, Chicago Steve Barkley. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Northern California and his name's Chicago, but that's a great story I'll share with you sometime. All right, well, that was this week's comedy podcast. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed producing it for you. We'll be back next week with one of our interview shows. Keep listening, tell your friends, share it, and if you get a chance, subscribe to the podcast. Thanks so much for being a regular listener. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Stand Up Comedy, your host and MC. I'm Scott Edwards, your host. Have a great day. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Stand Up Comedy, your host and MC. For information on the show, merchandise, and our sponsors, or to send comments to Scott, visit our website at www.standupyourhostandmc.com. Look for more episodes soon and enjoy the world of stand-up comedy. Visit a comedy showroom near you.